Welcome to the show. January, we're moving toward the end of it, but it is a month when we kind of take stock, kind of assess things, look at things that really kind of matter to us and to our families and our loved ones. And for many of us, that may include aging parents or and there are always questions that come along with that. So today's guest is Casey Tusa, who is Education Coordinator for Harbor Home Health and a Hospice.
Yes, ma'am.
And you reached out to me and said, this is really a good time for folks to be thinking about these sort of issues because maybe during the holidays they were with elderly relatives that they hadn't seen in a while, and sometimes declines can be gradual. Often they're very gradual, but you began to notice some things. And
yes, ma'am.
What do I need to do? Who do I need to call?
So everything you said is exactly right. When you haven't seen a loved one in a while, you might notice that things are a little bit different. And just with all things related to healthcare, early intervention is generally the best intervention, so that care can kind of grow with you instead of someone start declining and then the day-to-day tasks become quite a struggle, and then all of a sudden there are all of these changes that are happening so abruptly. And so, yes, most care companies have consultants. I'm the consultant for Harbor Hospice and Home Health, but you can call anyone in the senior care industry and just get a little bit of guidance. You start to notice changes in a parent or a grandparent, and it feels so small at first. You feel like you don't need to do anything. And then as those small changes kind of start to pile up and accumulate, then you don't know what to do, where to begin.
And you don't want to wait till something catastrophic happens.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. So just early intervention is typically the best intervention. I think what I want people to know most about senior care is that they have so many resources. Waco is a fabulous town to age in. I mean, there's everything. There are caregiving agencies. There's home health.
Quite a few. Yeah.
Quite a few. There's hospice. We have incredible assisted livings. There's some beautiful skilled nursing centers. Just whatever it is that you think would best fit your loved one, to sit down and talk to someone and get a little bit of guidance on that is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the month, this came in the mail, Waco's Senior Care Magazine.
Yes.
I think the grandson is another one of these home
They are a caregiving agencies.
And just some basic information, and the last page of it as community services, area agency on aging, and adult protective services. Some of these kind of specialized agencies that can help answer questions, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
Police departments, the local police, poison control. I mean, just basic information. So tell me, what is the biggest issue facing someone who is beginning to show some decline?
So I would like to approach that from a different angle. I would say the biggest issue for the adult child of someone facing decline is going to be kind of the first indicator of change because, and forgive me for speaking in generalities, but the vast majority of people, even if they are not as independent as they used to be, still perceive themselves as independent as they always have been. And so usually the first person to notice a need for change or a need for support is going to be someone that's in the inner circle, but not that person themselves. And so when you see someone maybe getting in a few more fender benders in the grocery store parking lot, or the dishes are kind of piling up in the sink because it's hard to stand for a long time. Just small things like that. That is a great time to call like a caregiving service. Home health is a different area.
Yeah, let's talk about the different flavors or varieties
absolutely.
Of help that's out there. The ones that just provide maybe some helpers to come in and assist with maybe a shower but not doing real health care.
Right. There are some wonderful agencies. What you said about the grandson, they're wonderful. Right at Home is wonderful. There's a newer
Visiting
agency.
Angels. I mean, there's
Visiting
just
Angels, the one you love. There are several, and those are really good because they background check. Not necessarily medical professionals, just people that want to help, that want to provide support with grocery shopping, laundry,
fix a light meal.
companionship. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they are all wonderful resources. Those are, and we can talk about kind of the finances of senior care too later if you prefer. But those are all generally out of pocket or paid for with like a long-term care policy or VA benefits because it's non-medical.
Right.
And so you can't use your health care insurance to pay for someone to come do your laundry. If you could, I would already have a great caregiver myself.
That's the truth.
But there's the medical side of it as well.
Right.
And
because sometimes you absolutely have to have someone come. Maybe you're recovering from hip replacement or something, and you're out of the rehab facility, but still, it's a little dicey with recovery,
That's exactly what it is. So if you need nursing or in-home therapy, specifically like physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy, PT is going to be like for balance, for mobility, joint recovery. Occupational therapy is more for therapy in regard to like the activities of daily living. They help you maintain your ability to get dressed and do your fine motor skills like buttoning buttons and that kind of stuff. And then speech therapy is going to be key for your people that are recovering from strokes or any other kind of malady that took their speech away, or even if someone is just having a hard time finding their words, maybe it's like the early stages of some form of dementia, then speech therapy can be really helpful for those people as well. And the beauty is that's covered by your healthcare insurance. There's no out-of-pocket cost. I think a lot of people think that all senior care is just really expensive, but a lot of it is covered. And that is the joy of just getting to do what we do, is just saying, hey, there's a lot of help out there. And a lot of it is, you already have the resources to have those in-home carers and therapists and nurses. You just need to ask them.
Right. What are some early signs that families should begin to say, oh, is that a red flag?
So just for different kinds of scenarios, there's dementia.
Right.
And
generally, you notice if someone's repeating themselves a lot.
Starting that conversation over. There's normal forgetfulness. I forget things all the time. But then there are things that are just outside of what we would call the norm. So if you can't find your car keys and you left them on the coffee table, that's pretty well within the norms of a mistake that we all make. If you can't find your car keys because they're in the freezer or the dog bowl.
Or you don't know what to do with them.
You don't know what to do with them.
What are these things for? Yeah, that's a pretty big.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Driving is...
That's a whole nother story now, isn't it?
That's a different ball of
wax.
Yeah,
it's hard because I'm sure there are people on the road that probably shouldn't be.
The beauty is a caregiving agency is going to have people that can drive your loved one, that can get them to HEB and back safely and with everything they need, and help them walk up and down the aisles safely and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or do it for them so that they don't wear themselves out getting out. So that's really lovely as well.
Why is it so many families wait until there's a crisis situation?
I think the acceptance of change and the acceptance of decline and saying, Nana isn't who she once was. That's a hard truth. Right. And so you don't ever want to offend the person that you love. It's a delicate balance of getting people the help they need, but not wanting to diminish who they still are.
Sure.
And honoring them in that. And that's really important. It is easier sometimes to have a third party come in and facilitate those talks with the whole family around the table, and just, affirming that everyone in the family wants what's best for everyone sitting at the table, and have those kinds of talks, and just let people know that there is a lot of help available for them.
What is the best way to start that conversation, though, do you think?
I think that consensus, if it can be reached, is always great, especially among adult siblings.
Because that's a whole nother thing, because sometimes the children don't agree with what kind of direction care should take.
There's a lot of family dynamics involved. But usually, if consensus can be come to about what those next steps need to be, then that's great. And then sometimes there's just like a team leader, typically the oldest daughter in every family, someone to beat the drum and get things going. And so those are great. And then the next step is just if you have a parent that is amenable to having someone in the home.
Because sometimes they're like, I don't want anybody coming in. I don't need any help. Yes.
Absolutely. That's why early intervention is key, because if you can get someone to come into your home 2 days a week, that might be met with a little bit of resistance. But once that same nurse or therapist or caregiver starts coming in a couple of days and your loved one gets to know them and that relationship forms, then maybe they can come a few more days a week. Or maybe we can call in a caregiving agency if you already have a nurse, or a nursing agency if you already have a caregiver. And care can build once that initial idea of someone is coming in the home to help and support me is tackled, then it can grow from there. But if you wait too long and miss kind of that early intervention window, then all of a sudden someone needs a lot of care. They're 5 days a week. They're 7 days a week. They're, needing a lot more than like a subtle, gradual growth within the home.
That's an easier pill to swallow,
It is
if you
an
will.
easier pill to swallow.
What are some common mistakes that well-meaning family members make when trying to help?
So there are a couple. You don't ever want to take away what a person can still do. So if a person is living independently and doing it well and enjoying being in their own four walls, the idea that maybe it's time to move out when a little bit of maybe in-home housekeeping or caregiving or nursing would have sufficed. You don't want to overstep or diminish what someone can still do.
Right. That's true. So back to siblings that have different opinions. What is a really good way to navigate that?
I have found that just kind of laying out all of the different avenues of support is a really good way to start that conversation. And then after you explain, there's caregiving, there's nursing, there's therapy, there's assisted living, there's skilled nursing. And because people don't always know what is available for their parents or their grandparents. And once you explain that, and then they tell you what challenges their loved one is facing on a daily basis, then you can kind of see, okay, well, this avenue would meet this need. This avenue would meet another need. Most of it can be stacked and mixed and matched to come up with a care plan that is really appropriate and extremely helpful for the person that they love.
Yes, there's a lot more I want to talk to you about, Casey, about this aging in place and what that actually means. But we're going to take a break, so stay with us. We will be back with more of the show right after this.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Today's show is brought to you by the Heart of Texas Home Builders Association. Don't miss this year's Home Products Show. It's January 31st and February 1st at the base at the Extraco Event Center. You'll see everything from home construction to remodeling, start to finish. Tickets are $5 at the door. I'll see you there.
Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
It's time to start something new at Allen Samuels. Drive in with huge savings on all of our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. From the trail-conquering Jeep Grand Cherokee, towing in style with a Ram Heavy Duty, or cruising the city in a sporty and luxurious Ram 1500, we've got the perfect ride for you. Stop by Allen Samuels in Waco, where we make car buying easy.
Come by, let's be friends.
Since 2014, we've been creating vegan, clean, and affordable skincare with proven actives and potent botanicals designed to treat your ever-changing skin. Celebrate our first decade of transformation today at facetheory.com/US-EN. Face Theory.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Tasmanian spring water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself, packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid, fermented sea kelp to reduce redness, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct. I let in the sun rays, more of the heat stays. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, buy one window, get the next one free, plus no interest and no payments for 24 months.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Well, I ain't no good, but I ain't half bad. Well, I'm half to hell and half repentant. Lord, I hope you work with that. No, it just ain't right. Oh, the thoughts I think. Yeah, I've been rolling, smoking, chasing tail. Yeah, I probably had a few drinks, but this life's all mine. So go ahead and live yours. Between raising bell and raising hell, you know I ain't living bored, and off again I go. Down a road unknown. Guitar in my hand, I'll be singing a song. Another town, another show. Living this good old life the best I can. Been knocked down a few times, I'll get back up again. Don't always make the best decisions, and that ain't stopped me yet. This whole life's a gamble, and on me I'll bet. Well, I'll be betting on me. I'll be betting on me. Well, girl, you know I'm bad, best you ever had. Didn't come here to break your heart, I didn't come here to make you sad, but I can't settle down. I don't know where I'm bound, 'cause that lonesome highway's calling my name, and I've been looking for a honky-tonk sound. Living this good old life the best I can. Been knocked down a few times, I get back up again. Don't always make the best decisions, and that ain't stopped me yet. This whole life's a gamble, and on me I'll bet. Well, I'll be betting on me. I'll be betting on me. Well, I ain't no good.
And we're back with Casey Tusa, and got to know that that your folks I've known many, many years. Let's talk about Johnny. I mean, Johnny Tusa, your dad, known, gosh, since he worked at the radio station.
Long time ago. Not very recently, but that is
a long time
absolutely
ago.
true.
And then, of course, a huge career with WISD as a coach. And your mom is still very active teaching classes, health and fitness kind of things.
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
So my best to your folks.
Well, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about you. How did you get into this line of work, this kind of work?
Well, I originally started out teaching and coaching, like my parents. My mom, we talked earlier about the oldest daughter in every bunch of siblings, and that's who my mom is.
Okay.
And I watched her move my grandparents, her parents, close to her, and her becoming their primary caregiver, and all of the hard work and just beautiful love that went into that. I'm so proud of the way my mom loved my grandparents. And it is a beautiful blessing to get to love the ones that have done so much for you.
Yeah.
And to watch it come full circle. On a broader spectrum, my family is from Waco. I'm a very proud fourth-generation Wacoan, and so a lot of the families that I get to serve as a senior care consultant have known me since before I was born.
Gonna say.
And
Yeah.
just making sure that they are still taken care of. The people that built this town is such a high honor. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know it's got to be rewarding.
It's
because
beautiful.
these are difficult situations sometimes, and it's really hard, and particularly if the older relative is having some dementia issues that changes their personality. I mean, they begin to act out in ways that they wouldn't have normally, and it's hard. It's hard on the children.
It is hard, but there's just so much joy in maintaining dignity of life, and making every day as beautiful as it can be.
Yeah.
And still, squeezing every day to get every sweet drop out of it.
Yeah, every day's a gift.
Every day really is a gift.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about aging in place, and what does that really mean? People say they want to age in place. What does that look like when it's done well?
When it's done well, we talked about that gradual progression where the home is a place that outside support can come into. And generally, it starts with non-medical caregiving, because there are a few kind of qualifying indicators that you need to have home health, and then later hospice. You need to medically qualify for those, whereas caregiving, there's no financial check mark, there's no medical check marks that you need to check to get someone to come in and just start helping out. And when you have that extra set of hands and eyes, as there is further decline, then it might be the in-home caregiver that suggests, hey, you know what, it's time to get a nurse in here. They might notice things like on a week-long pill box, on like a Mediplanner, that there are a few tabs that aren't getting opened and the pills are still there from Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. Well, that doesn't really bode well when you're not taking your medicines regularly and that kind of stuff. So when it is done well, a person can have all of the support they need in their house. Someone to sit with them and provide companionship, nurses to provide wound care, order medicines. I mean, durable medical equipment. You can have your house set up to where it is really comfortable for an older person to live. And if you do it through like a home health care or a hospice agency, they'll order all of that stuff for you and bill Medicare for it. There's some real financial upticks to having in-home medical support instead of just the adult children ordering stuff off of Amazon and all of that coming out of pocket.
Right. What are some practical changes that can be made to the house that probably should be made to people's homes?
So I think that what people notice the most is transitioning. Getting out of the armchair, getting off the couch, getting out of bed. All of that can be a struggle. So there are things like an electric armchair that lifts up so that you don't have to stand up once you get in your hole on the,
stands you up. Yeah,
absolutely. It's super helpful. As well as things like a raised toilet seat. Making a few walkers available in the home. So people don't always use their walker, but when you decide that you need one, it's nice to have one close. So like one in the bedroom and one in the living room, those are helpful. If someone is immobile, there's some really nice wheelchairs, electronic or non-electronic. Really anything that just keeps a person mobile and moving and able to go from place to place without the risk of falling. Falls are an immediate setback.
Oh, it can be devastating.
A broken hip, a dislocated shoulder, a concussion, those can really put someone who's doing really well back several steps. And so anything that increases safe mobility is well worth the time and money invested.
So how do home health services then support independence rather than take it away?
By providing just those things. And home health provides physical therapy as well. And so a lot of what we offer, and I say we as the senior care industry in its entirety, doesn't necessarily have to be permanent. If you want to get a little bit of support post-operatively, and then when you're back on your feet a little bit more, then maybe you don't need those services anymore. But any kind of therapy that increases strength, mobility, and balance are absolutely worth having. Because, like I said, you're avoiding a fall at that point or some kind of injury that can be quite costly.
Yeah. Let's talk about the difference between home health versus hospice. A lot of misconceptions about hospice. First of all, how would you kind of clarify?
The difference between home health and hospice has to do with the disease process. You have to qualify for hospice because the services are so extensive. There are actually a lot of people that would like hospice that don't qualify. There are things that we face for which there is no cure. Any type of dementia, heart failure, COPD, cirrhosis of the liver, things that a person cannot overcome. Hospice partners them with a nurse that is going to help make the rest of their days as comfortable and well as possible.
But I think it needs to be clarified that nurse may come once every other day. I mean, they're not there full time.
Yes, ma'am. When I sign someone up for hospice, I always tell them the least amount of service they are going to get is immediately. And then as the person continues to decline, then their nurse visits increase, their aide visits increase. The beautiful thing about hospice is it's actually a four-faceted service. There are RN case managers that oversee a person's general medical needs, the prescriptions that need ordering, any wound care that needs to be administered. Hospice nurses practice curative medicine. If a person has a UTI, which is pretty common, especially if a person is incontinent, they prescribe antibiotics. They prescribe other medicines.
So it's not a case of no medicine for you.
Oh, not at all.
I think that's one misconception people have about hospice.
Generally, people live with early hospice intervention, live longer and more well than they would without hospice, because there are people coming to check on them and making sure that the meds are taken.
Not to mention the caregivers get so much help.
Absolutely. So hospice is RN driven, but then you get CNAs that come in to help with toileting and showering and general hygiene and cleanliness. And then there's a social worker that is provided. There are a lot of coordinating events at the end of a person's life. Like our social workers are always busy working with caregiving agencies, working with assisted livings, making sure that medical power of attorneys are completed. If a family desires those kind of, more legal services, our social workers get them in touch with the agencies that make it okay for the adult children to make the decisions. And then there is chaplaincy, because you want to make sure that someone's mind, body, and spirit are all taken care of, and that they are well as a whole person.
Oh, there's so many different aspects to it.
So many.
I mean, it is a complicated thing. That's why someone like you, who can really advise early on, is a great thing.
It is an honor to get to do that for people, because hospice doesn't cost anything out of pocket. There's a specific Medicare hospice benefit where Medicare covers all four of those service capacities for a hospice patient, but also covers the medicines and the durable medical equipment. And I mean, it's just a tremendous support.
That's amazing what all they provide through
Yes, ma'am.
hospice care. Yeah. What are some proactive steps that families can take now, before they even need services?
So it goes back to some of the legalities. It is always great for someone to have a medical power of attorney that is a generation younger than them.
Okay.
So
a spouse is probably...
Spouses tend to run neck and neck.
Right.
And it is okay for a spouse to be a medical power of attorney.
Right.
You can have a list of them, and they... on a medical power of attorney, you can have like a first place, a second place, a third place.
Yeah.
It's not just one. That power can be spread around. And honestly, that's wonderful. I have seen families do it where the adult child who lives out of town is the medical power of attorney, or number one on the list, because they feel like the person that's away can make more objective decisions. I've seen it done where the child that lives closest to the parents is number one on the list, or the sole medical power of attorney, because they are so involved in the day-to-days. Families have their own unique way of deciding what to do.
I guess there's no right or wrong.
There's no right or wrong, but someone else needs to have that authority if their parent ever becomes incapacitated, that someone is okay to step in and say, we need help.
But it's important to know what the individual wants.
Absolutely.
So that's why having those, and nobody wants to talk about, do you want to do not resuscitate, or would you want a feeding tube? You don't want to think about that when you're, feeling pretty good. But knowing that ahead of time is worth the world, when the situation arises.
Absolutely. There is such a neat tool, and I wish that I had it with me. Chris at Grace Gardens has, it's a funeral home, but it's like a poster board, it's heavier than paper, but it's like a cardstock notebook of every aspect of a person's life from when they start aging to, quite frankly, their funeral planning. And a family can sit down, or just the mom or dad can just do it themselves and give it to someone else.
There it is, yeah.
And then it's all there. It is one of the most useful resources that I have found in senior care planning.
Wow.
But it's really important to tackle the gorilla in the room and just say, hey, none of us are getting any younger.
And we're not going to live forever. I mean, that's just...
I walk in and out of different memory cares all the time, and I tell them I'm there to make friends for me because I want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Because, we're all headed in the same direction. And so as soon as you can start having those conversations, and Ann, it might be uncomfortable to initiate some of those.
That's fine. I had 3 sons, okay? My grandmother, who had 2 daughters that cared for her, and my dad, she said, "Ann, you need to have a girl who'll take care of you in your old age."
Absolutely.
I said, if I had 100, I think they'd all be boys. So I just need to start praying now that they marry women who like me.
Hey, and they will. But you know what? I just have such a special job. I get to sit with some only children or sons that happen to live in the same town as their parents, nieces and nephews. There are so many people in our just precious town that love the ones around them well.
Oh, yeah.
That it is awesome to get to be a part of those talks.
Oh, that's neat. If someone watching or listening feels overwhelmed or really unsure of where to start, what do you say to them?
I would love to sit down at their kitchen table and talk about it. But just kind of being able to pinpoint what it is that's missing in their loved one's day-to-day life, or what it is that's the real challenge. I was counseling a family who lost their mother a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden, this gentleman is now living off of Wolf brand chili because his wife, who made everything from scratch for their entire 63-year marriage. And he's just not eating well anymore. So if you can identify what's missing, you know what, dad has terrible nutrition now, or, mom is doing great, but someone needs to drive her. Or, man, I've just noticed that the pill box is always full when it should be empty every Saturday.
Yeah, right.
If you can kind of point to that one thing that really needs addressing, not only can that one thing be addressed, but then there's usually a few more elements that go along with it that need to be addressed. So if I'm not taking my medicine every day, am I paying my bills regularly? What else needs to be done on a daily basis and kind of kept track of? Am I looking at my credit card statements?
Bills getting paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all that kind of thing.
One thing kind of begets another when you can identify just 1 or 2 really key components of change.
Yeah. Well, after working with families, so many families, in this situation, what gives you the most hope when it comes to aging issues and aging well?
I think that the progress that the healthcare community is making from a lot of different vantage points. I think that medicines are getting better. I think that assisted living facilities are getting quite frankly, nicer, fancier, and more communal. There's some
They have a
really
happy
nice
hour.
one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like a nonstop slumber party at some of the places I've been in.
And they're all friends, and they eat together, and they party together, and every day's a celebration.
That community too. I mean, it's funny because, well, was it really funny when my mom was kind of the worst thing for her was to go into a home. Do not put me in a home. She needed to be in assisted living. I mean, she just needed, that's where she needed to be. But just mentally, it was just such a struggle. But I'm like, where do I sign up for this place?
Absolutely.
I mean, they were having a ball and had great food, and she had wonderful care. But just mentally, it was like, this is the worst, you know.
Absolutely. So I think that the general view of senior care communities is pretty negative until you walk into one, until you sign up to take a tour. I was a part of a tour of the Blake a couple weeks ago. And, you know, they have a putting green, they have a bar, they have a game room.
I'm saying. I've gone and sung for them in the past, you know, and they've got lots of entertainment. And
you want your dad to live there while he can still putt, while he can still, you know, engage in all of their activities, because you don't.
And couples are now moving there.
Absolutely.
Right, to kind of age in place, if you will.
And they eat together and they make new friends, and just have just such a wide range of activities, and especially, you know, people that want to stay busy and stay engaged. Those are just the best places for them to live. And then it goes back to that early intervention. But you want to be well enough when you move in that you can
assimilate, really.
Right, absolutely, and enjoy what there is to offer, as opposed to moving into one later and then being more
because
confined
you had
to your, yes, absolutely.
I know. Well, it is a huge topic, and it is a difficult thing to navigate. I'm here to tell you, I understand firsthand, but there is a lot of help available. So how can folks get in touch with you if they'd like to maybe set up a time to pick your brain a little bit?
Well, they are welcome to call Harbor Hospice.
And where is that located?
We are on the 3rd floor of the Triangle Tower, right in between Michael's and On the Border.
Okay, all right.
The TF&B building.
Okay.
So that they can call the office, and I would love to meet with them. And it's just nice to start the conversation. No one has to commit to anything.
Right.
But just to hear what all Waco offers in the line of senior care is great. And like I said, to start some of those conversations, if a third party comes in and does it, that takes some of the heat off of the adult children or the daughter-in-law or whoever is kind of facilitating the need for the conversation to happen.
Yeah, but ideally for that aging person to make these decisions themselves, you know, and kind of decide for themselves how they want this last act of life to look like.
Absolutely. You always want to honor the ones that have brought us to where we are today. It's truly a gift.
Yeah. Oh, well, you are a gift. I appreciate so much.
Thank you so
Casey,
much, Ann.
You're reaching out because this is, you know, people have to navigate these sometimes troubled waters when it comes to aging relatives.
And what I want people to know the most is there are tons of resources out there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Today's show is brought to you by the Heart of Texas Home Builders Association. Don't miss this year's Home Products Show. It's January 31st and February 1st at the base at the Extraco Event Center. You'll see everything from home construction to remodeling, start to finish. Tickets are $5 at the door. I'll see you there.
The City of Killeen Public Library will host Lego Day, a free building experience designed to inspire creativity and imagination through hands-on Lego brick building, and it's for all ages. Lego Day will take place Saturday, January 24th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Killeen Civic and Conference Center. Lego enthusiasts of all ages are invited to show up, build, and create in a welcoming environment that encourages imagination, teamwork, and problem solving. The world-famous Harlem Globetrotters will make a stop in Waco as part of their 100-year tour, celebrating a century of the legendary franchise. The Globetrotters will take the court at Baylor's Foster Pavilion on Saturday, February 14th for a game against their longtime rivals, the Washington Generals. After the game, fans are invited to the fifth quarter autograph session where they can meet the players for totally free. Premium fan experiences are also available, including a pregame meet and greet, VIP bench tickets, and the chance to join the team on the court for warm-ups. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Act Locally Waco. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter to find out more happening around you, and I'll see you later.
It's time to start something new at Allen Samuels. Drive in with huge savings on all of our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. From a trail-conquering Jeep Grand Cherokee, towing in style with a Ram Heavy Duty, or cruising the city in a sporty and luxurious Ram 1500, we've got the perfect ride for you. Stop by Allen Samuels in Waco, where we make car buying easy.
Come by, let's be friends.
I started this outlaw shit too soon, and I left home before you're supposed to go. I started counting cinder blocks when I was just a child, and I carry sin you'll never know. I did my time, it's cost my life, and still my memories mess with me. If I could give away every cold damn thing I am, maybe I wouldn't have to be. Couldn't make 3 steps in my boots, much less all these miles I've walked. And I keep pushing on this road that never ends, despite all these battles I've fought. I've always been outside the law. It's just the way that I was raised, and I'm that company that misery loves to keep. I've been that way now most of my days. Can't always keep an even keel. Some days I crash and I burn. I never took no time to heal. You'd think one day that I'd learn. I don't learn. Couldn't make useless all these miles I've walked. And I keep pushing on this road that never ends, despite all these battles I've fought. Despite all these battles I've fought. Despite all these battles I fight. Despite my life.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, Your Bank for Life.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct. I let in the sun rays. More of the heat stays. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, buy one window, get the next one free. Plus no interest and no payments for 24 months.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com.
Walking barefoot on the thorns I've grown. Broken memories don't feel like home. I'm a stranger to myself when I'm alone, sipping on my dreadful sins again. Mind's a prison when you can't escape, shackled to the thoughts that just won't break. Past the point of taking all that I can take, wishing on a shooting star again. And all the drinks and smoke don't ease the pain, just keeps me hiding in a shell of who I am. This old bar stool is a throne to a wayward king. Just one more shot and I'll straighten out my crown. Oh, I'm lost and found. I'm lost and found. I wrap my pieces in some barbed wire strands, laughing to myself at best laid plans. Done the sticking round that I can't stand. It's time to hit the road again. Been getting lost so I can find myself, digging deeper to find hidden wells, skipping demons while I skip through hell. I'm whistling Dixie once again, and all the drinks and smoke don't ease the pain, just keeps me hiding in the shell of who I am. And this old bar stool is the throne to a wayward king. Just one more shot and I'll straighten out my crown. Oh, I'm lost and found. Yeah, I'm lost and found. Oh, I'm lost and found.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
It looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business. Studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. EaseUS.
Today's show is brought to you by the Heart of Texas Home Builders Association. Don't miss this year's Home Products Show. It's January 31st and February 1st at the base at the Extraco Event Center. You'll see everything from home construction to remodeling, start to finish. Tickets are $5 at the door. I'll see you there.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.